Well, guys, today is New Comic Book Day, and we got to talk about what's on the pull list. Welcome back to Comics Are Dope. I'm BJ Kicks, and this is the pull list. Better late than never, I always say. Sometimes. But this is the pull list. It's my weekly video series where I take a look at all the books coming out. I'll tell you what I am most excited for. We'll talk about some that I'm a little bit behind on. We'll talk about new number ones that are on the radar. We'll even talk about new trade paperbacks hitting the market for this week of New Comics, Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025. That's right. Today is New Comic Book Day as I'm filming this. I hope you guys are having a much better New Comic Book Day than I am. Today has been eventful. But we don't have to talk about that. We can talk about new comics, starting with the books at the top of the pile. These are the books that I am most excited for in any given week, based on how much I enjoyed the previous issue of the run. I should note these books are waiting behind me or behind the counter at my LCS, Fight or Flight Comics in Raleigh, North Carolina, inside Triangle Town Center Mall. If you are in the Raleigh area, they are the best shop, hands down, and no issues with parking. It's great. So check them out just inside the mall. Go through the food court entrance, make a left, right past Hollister. You can't miss them. Man, I cannot talk today. Let's go ahead into the top of the pile. These are the books I'm most excited for, like I said. And first up at the top of the pile is Captain Planet and the Planeteers, issue number 4. This written by David Pepose with art by Iman Castellos. This book has been really, really good. You know that trend, I don't know how much of a trend it is, but like taking properties for young people, growing them up a little bit, and now they're properties for like anyone who's even had a passing interest in them as a kid. Kyle Higgins did it with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Then, well, before that, we had the new TMNT, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Kevin Eastman and Tom Waltz, really opening that world up for us in comics. There's been Radiant Black, which is not based on anything that you know as a kid, but feels like it. And now we've got this, Captain Planet and the Planeteers. This, the latest animated series adaptation, and it's more grown up than it ever was before. And it is like, it's as action-packed, if not more. I don't know. I guess when you like have really dynamic comic book art, it makes everything seem more action-packed than it may have been in other iterations. All that to say, David Pepose and Iman Castellos are doing the Lord's work with this series. And by that, I just mean it's really, really good. They've taken all the concepts you're familiar with, these Planeteers with the power of Earth, fire, wind, water, and heart. We've given them a reason to have these powers, and we're bringing them together in a way that is kind of like a slow team building activity. Like, what's the best time for team building? When you're in danger, of course. And I've really enjoyed seeing like all of these different aspects of Captain Planet lore, some that I remembered, some that I very vaguely remembered, and just growing them up. Like the way Duke Nukem looks. Duke Nukem reminds me of like Major Chip Hazard in Small Soldiers, but then like a lot more weathered somehow. Like, that's crazy. We've also got, we've seen Gaia, we've seen all of the Planeteers, and we've even seen Captain Planet in action. One thing I also liked about these last few issues is how they are like tackling all these questions that the original animated series technically raised, but you kind of wrote it off because you were a kid. Like, for example, when the Planeteers combine their powers to form Captain Planet, it means they're giving up their powers. They are powerless humans waiting for Captain Planet to save them. But because they're heroic figures, they're out here trying to prevent collateral damage and save people, even though they may or may not know they're going to be saved in the process. Very interesting stuff that I don't remember being addressed when I was a kid, but made all the sense in the world to spend a few pages on. So it's that sort of attention to detail that makes this one of the best books on shelves right now. Captain Planet and the Planeteers, issue 4 is out this week. Cover price is $4.99. Next up, speaking of childhood nostalgia, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue number 11 is out this week. Juan Ferreira and Jason Aaron, again, doing the Lord's work, like just making a fun comic book. This doesn't throw away any of the 150 issues plus that you read in the past, but it's very much approachable, and I've been enjoying it. This has been the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles against the full might of the government of the state of New York, and that's been really cool. And I'm curious to see like where things all go as as the brothers are finally coming together, working together. There are some other characters that have been kind of waiting in the wings. We haven't quite seen a lot from over the past 10 issues, so I'm excited for issue 11. Full disclosure, I read issue 11 already. It's great. You probably knew it was, but check that out. I'm grabbing the cover B, by the way, by Kevin Eastman, because that's just a dope cover. $4.99 is the cover price on that. Next up at the top of the pile, a book that I actually forgot about the first time I filmed this video, and so we are refilming because I'm in a better mood and because I had some stuff I forgot. Next, this is Ancestral Recall, issue number 2. This is written by my man Jordan Clark with art by Adigun Ilhan. Both are alums of the Milestone Talent Development Initiative program. The Milestone Initiative Talent Development Program is actually what that was called. Anyway, this is a story about a dude who basically can recall the powers of any figure in Black history, and he's going to need to in order to find his missing wife. I read issue 1 like right before the FOC, and I didn't reread it when it came out last month, but I remembered enjoying it so much that I'm really excited issue 2 was out. I didn't realize it's been a whole month since the book came out. Anyway, Ancestral Recall, issue 2. Very exciting stuff. You should check it out if you haven't already. $4.99 is the cover price on that. And last book at the top of the pile this week is Absolute Green Lantern, issue number 6, written by Al Ewing, art by Janoy Lindsay. I can't lie. When I read issue 5 of this, I was like, am I fully understanding this? Like, do I need to go back and reread issues 1 through 4? But this book is like, if you have a passing knowledge of Green Lantern lore, you might feel like this book is a bit walking through the fog. If you know a lot about Green Lantern lore, you'll probably be a little bit more excited about this book because it's like it's taking all these different elements and like everywhere you can flip and twist and turn them, they're being flipped, twisted, and turned in ways that make you more and more curious. Like, well, what's he going to do with the emotional spectrum? And what's he going to do with this? And what's he going to do with that? Particularly in issue 5, there's a moment where Joe Mullen is told to give up the ring. And I don't want to spoil it, but the way that there's a parallel between that moment and her personal life was really interesting. And that was enough to kind of unlock the series for me. Absolute Green Lantern, issue 6, out this week. Cover price is $4.99. And those were all the books at the top of the pile, the first ones that I'm going to be reading. Well, usually the first books that I would read. But this next segment is called On the Radar. And the On the Radar segment is for new number ones, new series debuts, new story arc debuts, new jumping on points for comic book stories. And is there a bigger number one this week than Batman number one? No, there's not. It's only the 4th time there's been a Batman number one in history. We got Batman from 1940, then 2011, then 2016, and now 2025. So shout out to Matt Fraction, who is the writer, and Jorge Jimenez, who is the artist on a brand new Batman number one, because you don't see those every day. Now, Batman number one, I actually went ahead and bought on Comixology so I could read it because I'm kind of stranded at my house right now. I don't know when I'll make it to the LCS, cars in the shop, so that's a thing. But I bought this so that I could read it. It is good. It's really good. I feel like I'm kind of jaded with new Batman releases, but this had a really good starting point. And Batterflies are a thing, apparently. Cover price on that was $4.99. Next new number one from DC Comics is The Adventures of Superman, The Book of L, issue number 1. This, written by Philip Kennedy Johnson. The art on it is by Scott Godlewski, who, that name sounds brand new to me. But if I click on his name here in League of Comic Geeks, I'll see that he's done an issue. He's done a couple of covers for Green Lantern Corps, albeit those are for issues that hadn't come out yet. But he's got a lot of credits, so I'm just the one who's not familiar. You might be. Anyway, Adventures of Superman, the Book of L. This kind of picks up some of the threads from the Future State House of L series from a few years ago that were carried into the Superman War World saga. So this is kind of the bookend to the Philip Kennedy Johnson run of Superman and Action Comics and all that. If Future State was the first bookend, then this is the last. So interesting stuff. If you've been enjoying Philip Kennedy Johnson on Superman, didn't want it to end, well, it didn't end. $3.99 is cover price on that. Next up on the radar is Detective Pickle, Private Investigator, issue number 1. It's written by Neil Ewing. This is brought to us by Cosmic Lion Productions, who I had the pleasure of meeting some of the team from Cosmic Lion back at Heroes Con this year. Chances are, this got art by Raymar Brunson, by the way, but chances are if you did not pre-order this book, your comic shop won't have a copy. This is being distributed by Diamond, which also means your shop may not have a copy. But I wanted to shout it out just in case it is available in your area, in case your shop does still order from Diamond and can place a reorder so that you can check out this series. Cover price on it is $8, but a pickle that's a detective just sounds too good to pass up. So check that out. Next up from Marvel Comics is Doctor Strange, issue number 450. Interestingly enough, I didn't think that Doctor Strange had an ongoing title at the moment. And looking at this listing in League of Comic Geeks, seems he doesn't have an ongoing. They just decided to do a issue 450 for an anniversary, and then they're going to eventually launch a new Doctor Strange series. Maybe this has a preview of the more Strange to come. It should be good. $4.99 on that. Next up from Marvel is the Imperial War Exiles, issue number 1. So if you read there was a Black Panther one shot, there was a She-Hulk one shot, and we kind of get these glimpses of where all these different people are during this Imperial War event, kind of murder mystery we got going on. Well, somebody we haven't heard from yet, Professor Charles Xavier. This is kind of a bit of a follow-up from the X-Manhunt, by the way. So if you're curious as to how Charles got to where he is in this book, read that one. But Imperial War Exiles issue number 1 is out this week today. And yeah, what's Professor X up to? I feel like, have they explained how he can walk? Because he's still walking. Like, they haven't retconned him back into the wheelchair. So enlighten me. If you know why he can walk, why can he walk? $4.99 is cover price on that. Next up from Marvel Comics, another new number 1. There are a lot of new number 1s, by the way. Spider-Man 94, issue number 1. I know this is written by J.M. DeMatteis. I don't know. Is it DeMatteis or is it DeMatteis? I feel like I've seen it and heard it both ways. Artist on this is Jim Toe. This is basically picking up right where Spider-Man the Animated Series left off, allegedly. So interesting stuff, you know. Spider-Man's with Mary Jane and he's looking all flat colored in 2D and stuff. For fans of that animated series, I guess I am wearing a Spider-Man shirt. I should rep it more. But the truth is, I watched that show in daycare, and unlike Batman the Animated Series, I never revisited it. Let me know what I'm missing in the comments. $4.99 is cover price on that. Before we go any further in this, I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who has been donating and purchasing from the equipment fundraiser sale. We are at about 30% of the goal. I did take a big hit on shipping supplies and dumb stuff, but we're getting there. I'm working on getting new things listed. Like I said, car trouble was a big setback, but I just want to say thank you. If you were one of the people who donated, if you were one of the people who shared, if you purchased one of the books from my collection, you are directly responsible for me being able to continue making videos, and I greatly appreciate it. It doesn't go unnoticed. It's not taken for granted. Thank you. Thank you. If you want to contribute to that, you can just use the link in the description. But let's get back to the video. And the last book I'm going to shout out on the radar this week is White House Robot Romance, issue number 1. It's written by Chip Zdarsky, which is why it's on the radar at all, because Chip Zdarsky's a funny dude. But the premise of this just also sounds really interesting. Basically, there's a robot that works for the White House, and then there's a robot that works for Canada's White House. The point is they fall in love and decide to break the ranks so they could be together, but they like hold state secrets and stuff. And it's like, what are they going to do with that? They're on the run. What are they going to do with all this knowledge they have? Only Chip Zdarsky would come up with this premise, but I'm very excited to follow it through to see how it is. It is a distillery book, so I think there's incentive to go ahead and grab it in single issues. They are $8.99. They're prestige format. I think they're a little bit longer than a normal single issue. When you get this in a collection, it's going to be a lot more expensive. So if you want to get it on the ground floor, that's what I suggest. $8.99 is cover price on that. And that's it. Those are all the books on the radar. And if I'm going to add new titles to my pull list, then I first need to check the budget. And thankfully, even including the new series I want to try out, my budget, I'm only spending $45.38 this week. That's $5 under budget. I could afford to spend like $5 more. I'm probably not going to do that. But anyway, let's talk about what all is in my stack. Why? What's led up to this budget? So the rest of my pull list is The Rockefellers, issue number 8. Rockefellers written by Peter J. Tomasi and Francis Manapul. Francis does the art as well. This is a series that I kind of forgot to put on the pull list. And so I think I pre-ordered the first trade paperback, which is not here yet to my knowledge. But I started just picking up the series at issue 7. I read issue 7 after reading a few of the other issues digitally. And there's definitely a revelation about one of the villains in issue 7 that I thought was really interesting. Issue 7 is probably not the best jumping on point, but it is a new story arc beginning. So I went ahead and jumped on there. I'm curious enough to follow it to issue 8. The cover price on that is $3.99. Next on the pull list is Ultimate X-Men, issue number 19. I have nothing to say about this book except that I'm behind on it. Cover price is $4.99. And you can, just kind of put that response on a stamp for this next one. That's Uncanny X-Men, issue number 20. I haven't read that either. I did go back and start reading the Murder Me Mutina issue. I think that's issue 17. So I'm only 3 issues behind, but I probably won't read them in the next day or two. So Uncanny X-Men 20, $4.99 is cover price on that. And the last book on my pull list this week is The Walking Dead Deluxe, issue 120. Because, well, if you know, you know. So let's get to the moment you've all been waiting for. This is Trade Waiting, the final segment of the pull list. These are series that have just recently been collected into paperbacks or hardcovers for the first time. So for those of you who are not weekly Wednesday warriors, you can go pick up one of these and have a more complete story at your disposal. So we're going to start things off, speaking of Ghost Machine, with Hornsby and Halo, Volume 1, Nature versus Nurture. This is also written by Peter Tomasi, but this has art by Peter Schneiberg. And this is about these 2 kids who were switched at birth. One is an angel, one's a demon, or one's a resident of heaven and one's a resident of hell. And they are sent down to earth to be and adopted by these families, and hoping that basically one is raised, the angel is raised by a super terribly unsupportive family, and the demon is raised by a super nice nurturing family or whatever. So it's hoping they can see each other's point of view, perspectives, and keep a truce going into eternity. And I don't know, I picked up the first couple of issues. This and Rockefellers, I forgot to press the subscribe button on because I was so busy looking at different covers and wanting to order specific covers. And that's how I got behind on both of these. I decided to pick Rockefellers back up, but for Hornsby and Halo, I decided to wait for trades. So first one is out this week. Cover price is $14.99. Next is The Power Fantasy, Volume 2. Kieran Gillen, Casper Wingard, if I'm not mistaken. Very interesting stuff. What if the superpowers people were like superpowers and we got to put diplomacy with the X-Men? That's not the most accurate description. My man DJ Ben Hameen can tell you all about this series, but Volume 2 is out this week with a cover price of $16.99. Next from Marvel is Ultimate Wolverine Volume 1. This is the only Ultimate title that I am not pulling in singles because I forgot to hit the subscribe button. So there you go. Make sure you go to your shop and actually add stuff to the pull list is the lesson here. But Ultimate Wolverine Volume 1, The Winter Soldier. Cover price is $19.99. Next up, Sam Wilson, Captain America, Better Angels, the trade paperback. This is the miniseries by Evan Narcisse and Greg Pak. It was interesting. Like, if you're a Sam Wilson fan, buy it. I think you'll enjoy it. There were definitely some things that I was kind of like, a little meh on, but I enjoyed it overall. Cover price on that is $17.99. And the last two books, we're going to get a double dose of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So the Night Watcher trade paperback is out this week. Night Watcher being a popular character from the 2007 film. I was in high school then. I did not see that movie. I don't think I've seen it still. Anyway, Night Watcher debuts there, and now they're making an appearance in the comic. And we know who Night Watcher was in the original source material. We don't know who he is in the comics. That mystery, we get the answer to that in issue 1. In issue 2, we get an origin, and that's as much as of this series as I've read. I'm very excited for it, though, because I really liked the first 2 issues, and I've just been enjoying overall the way the Ninja Turtles has been built out during this relaunch era. Very, very good stuff. $21.99 is the cover price on that trade paperback. And again, speaking of the Ninja Turtles, volume 18 of the IDW Ultimate Collections is finally coming out. This will conclude, for now at least, those IDW Ultimate Collection volumes. This concludes the entire 150 issue run, plus all the extra miniseries and tie-in stuff. If you had the other 17 volumes, I don't need to sell you on volume 18 plus the source book. But if you don't have all 17 volumes, good luck getting them. Some of them are out of print. They have been reprinting them in trade paperback. I do think it is the best way to own the IDW Ninja Turtles. And I can't wait to see if they do the same sort of collections for this new IDW series. So anyway, $59.99 is the cover price on that. And that was it. That's it for trade waiting. That's it for my pull list. That's it for this video. I can't believe I did it. And I was as cheerful as I was while I did it, because today has been a nonsensical day. But I hope you're having a great one. Hope you stay safe, stay awesome, and read something dope today. Peace.